Here we go, we are on the start line of Derby National Round 3, and I'm going to be completely honest with you before we get going. I'll give it the big one about giving it the berries, giving it the ponies, but the starts at national level completely scare the life out of me. And I don't know what it is, I get so nervous, worried about them, and my body just feels totally empty on the start line. I can't explain it, I've got to get over it, but straight away off from the gun, I think I'll get the elbow stuck on me there by Mr. Techers. And look, it's just, there's bodies everywhere, and it's like a sensory overload, and you're just going so fast. And I was like 8th row back, I was gridded 57th, 58th, something like that, and you're just going full send with bodies everywhere, and I'm not gonna lie, it freaks me out. And you can see that also my power meter is going wild in this race. You can see that I'm not doing 0 watts right now, so I'd take it with a pinch of salt. It comes in and out as we race, but coming down here I was already in a world of pain. And like they say, if you're not trying to move up on the start, you're moving backwards because everyone else is moving up. So to be honest, right now I am pretty close to the back, and then to top it all off, Mr. Nick Craig goes down in front of me and I get blocked here, and like everyone's just like trying to trample through, trying to get through. And the mistake I made right now when I got back on the bike is I just went full send. And I think I went a little bit too deep here, just trying to catch back up and get past as many people as possible. I got back on and I went way too deep. Like, we'd already gone hard off the start line, and then getting caught in that crash, you're just like, I'm practically last place now. And I know for me to get to the end of this race and not get pulled when Thomas Main and that are getting a clear lap at the start, the stars need to align and I need to get a good start. And secondly, I was like Bambi on ice round here. I was rusty. Look at this little Techers, missed the tape and then went back under. Love that. But yeah, I was like Bambi on ice, I'm not gonna lie. And I think I was just rusty. We hadn't actually raced on mud yet this year, and I hadn't practiced. The practice for this race was like 3 hours before you got on the course. You could go on before, but I didn't want to stress my dad out cleaning the bikes. But anyway, I've caught back up, and I thought right now, it's not too bad, because just in front of me there is Kish, and I'm like, man's a bit of an animal, and he normally gets to the end of these national level races, so I'm thinking, if I can just stay on his wheel, we will be good to go. The problem was, I was feeling like a shell of a man, and we were like 2 minutes in already. So I knew right now I was in dangerous, dangerous territory. And look, you can see it's really hard to move up. People are getting off running because you get so bottlenecked, and it is just, it's cutthroat at this level. You've got to get your elbows sharp, and you've got to just commit to it. And exactly what I said at the beginning, I didn't commit to the start. If anyone's got any tips to get over being a scared little boy on the start line, hit me up, because I need it. But this next section was coming into the bomb hole, and I did get off and run, and that is Kish's fault, because he was chopping about left, right and centre. I wanted to go to the right of him there, no, then he was chopping about all over, then that guy chops me, and then I was like, do you know what? I think I'll be just better off to get off and run. So here I do get off and run. I'm going to fast forward this because no one wants to watch me running, that is for sure. But I get back on, and that little run, I think I did make up a few places, and I was still on Kishan's wheel, so I was like, not too bad. But you can see the front of the race, like where you can't even see them. If you look over the blue tape, they are like over the other side, gone. They are so fast, it blows my mind. But we're back off running again. And boy, oh boy, do I need to start doing maybe a bit of running with a bike or something. I've been going out and running, and it feels great. But when you have to run with a bike in thick mud, it's a game changer. Your heart rate jacks up. It is absolutely awful. But you had to decide in these sections. I stayed on the bike, tried to ride it. And you can see when you're not getting the grip and you're picking terrible lines, you've really got to put the power out to get up through these sections. And that was the thing, I've got to pick better lines. I was running, I know someone's going to ask, I was running full muds on this Lima's with 20 psi in, and it was slippy, muddy, and look, you're just grinding up here trying to find, grass is grip, you're trying to find absolutely anything. But I did get a few places there, and I'm still up on Kish's wheel. I said in the previous video, I was like, I thought I was going to beat Kish, and then then we started racing. Then we got further than one lap. I just didn't pace this well enough because I panicked after that crash. But you can see here, we're going pretty hard, and you've just got to get in these ruts now. These ruts were mad. Look, I missed that one. That is how shocking I was. Bambi on ice, missed that rut, and these little bits were really tricky as well. You had to get off run, and I think right now I was probably sitting maybe 40th, something like that, at a guess. Maybe a little bit lower down, I'm not 100% sure, but probably around the 40th mark. And I was thinking, you know what, don't panic, you're back in it. But then this happens, I struggled to get up there. That bridge was so slippy. And another problem that I've been having with my bike is my left shifter intermittently doesn't work sometimes, which when you're coming into a muddy course with corners, being in the right gear is so important. And I did struggle with that in this race, but the problem is every time my dad puts it in the work stand, the shifter works fine. So it's an absolute nightmare. I tell you what, we're getting a lot of Kish's rear right here and his strong, powerful legs. But in a minute, your boy's going to get shelled out the back. Spoiler alert, I did not battle Thomas Main for the win, unfortunately. They're probably already finished this lap right now. And it was this next little section as we come over the top of the hurdles where I got signed, sealed, delivered, dispatched and just started going backwards. And it was because I couldn't get clipped into my pedals. There's no other reason. I mean, admittedly I was struggling as well. Heart rate's at 183, I'm literally on the limit. And you get off here for these hurdles. Some of the good riders were jumping them, disappointed that Kishan didn't after his coach told him to. But I hopped back on here, and this is where it went absolutely terribly. I couldn't get clipped into my pedals because of all the mud from running. So then I stamped back on them, I get going again, and I'm like, I've got to get back on that group, as quick as I can, because I know there's a drag coming up in a second, and also the start-finish straight. And if you've watched any of my videos, you will know my lack of power down a straight is pretty pathetic. I have not a lot of power when it comes to a straight line. But coming in here, I was like, quickly get on Rose Racing's wheel and just get towed along. And I was like, I can't get on his wheel. I'm absolutely shelled. Look, apparently I'm doing 0 watts right now. Disappointing, Quark. This is a brand new power meter. I'm going to have to look into that for the next race because it really did upset me that, that it wasn't there. But I did manage to just about get back on. Look at these ruts though. It's like getting it, point, shoot. I managed to ride this one, but then, oh, you can't park there, Georgie boy. He did ride the hard bit and then he stacks it, and then yet again, too many mistakes. And every time you make a mistake and you're trying to make up for it, you're burning another match. So I'm getting back on the bike, I'm trying to get back on this group because I know I need to be in this group for the start finish straight. And yet again, I'm making mistakes. I'm in the wrong gear, I'm grinding up there. I was like wheel spinning because I had no grip, and it was just too many mistakes in the mud. It's something to work on, but hopefully the next couple of races will get more muddy conditions. We've had a lot of rain in the UK, so we're going to get it. Look, same again, I was just wheel spinning. Maybe I needed to run a little bit lower pressures as well, but I lost 2 spaces there, and I'm thinking, right, jump on his wheel. Get on any wheel right now, Georgie boy. And I looked over my shoulder just before the last corner and I could see Nick Craig coming, and I thought, now if there's ever a wheel to follow, it is the legend that is Nick Craig. But saying that, it's not easy to follow his wheel. Jesus, it's not easy. But coming into this section, I got it a little bit wrong and slipped out here, foot out, and watched me doing like a little truffle shuffle to get up. And I could see Nick Craig coming past me on my left, and I'm like, quick, get on his wheel. And what do? I make another mistake there, slip out, and that was it. Too many mistakes at this level. Unless you're one of the fit guys at the front, and because I'm starting at the back, I can't afford to make mistakes. And then here, I'm going to speed it up because dirt gets on all the mud's flicking up and it gets on the camera. I do wipe it in a second, but I didn't manage to get on a wheel, and this drag was absolute hell for me. honestly, I was giving it everything I had, but I felt like I was going nowhere. I needed a wheel to suck along here. But then here, Mr. Oscar Hutchins from the Wessex League comes past me. He has been beating me the last couple of weeks. So I was like, just cling on for dear life now. What do? Get dropped. And then the legend that is Scotty Chalmers comes past me. And I'm thinking, get on his wheel now, come on. But he's got a little bit more talent than me in the mud, it seems. Look at that, effortless. What's Georgie boy doing? Wheel spinning all over the shop. Absolutely shocking. But just here we start running again, and then two absolute Mo Farahs come past me on the left, and I just had to go with it in a second. I was like, come on George, get your legs moving and keep up with that. I was going backwards at this point, but I managed to keep up with number 37 and did get back past him. And for the rest of this race, we had a good little battle. Sorry, I didn't check the rider's name, but me and number 37 had a wicked little battle. But we're bridging back onto Oscar here, and I was just thinking, get on his wheel, stay on it, and I did manage to stay with him for like the next lap or so, and eventually I did get past him. Go on, Georgie boy. But I think in a second I have an absolute nightmare on the bridge as well. It might be now. I couldn't shift into gear just coming up here. My shifter wouldn't shift, and then I had to do the truffle shuffle again and lost places. That is a chopper move, Georgie boy, not getting up that bridge. But here we go then, to me and number 37 are about to get in the battle of all battles. It is now a dogfight for 46th place. Yes, you heard that right. We're battling for 46th place. This is where the action is. No one wants to see Thomas Main ride away off the front. They want to see what Georgie boy's doing at 46th place. But anyway, me and number 37 are going, and this is what I was saying, when you had a wheel to follow down here, and I remember he looked over his shoulder and was like, oh, am I on film? And I said, yeah, as long as you don't drop me down here. But it was night and day being on someone's wheel, and he makes a little mistake there, foot out in the mud, so I capitalise on that, go past, and you can see Oscar up ahead. We bridge back onto him, which was good. I was pressing on. He makes a mistake there, Georgie boy makes a mistake as well, and we're both off and running. But here we go, number 37 comes past, we're going to stick it in the rut, and the battle is back on for 46th place. Get excited, ladies and gentlemen. Who is going to take it? I think here I have to go into pits because the bike was starting to get a bit clogged up, and I thought it's better to pit, let Del Boy do his little exciting bit. There he is. Off he goes. Go on, Del Boy. I bet he was excited to get his hands on the jet wash, and we were back off again. But because I pitted and number 37 didn't, it did mean he got a gap on me. So then I had to try and close that. And then Joe comes past me here, and I've raced against Joe a few times, mountain biking, stuff like that. So I was like, just get on his wheel, get on his wheel. Absolutely not. Then Mr. Jack G comes past me, and I can't say that I done a dirty move. This is totally his own fault. But this is what happens if you overtake me, Jackie boy. You sit down and you get chopped. He got his foot caught on my handlebars and stacked it. Go on, Jackie boy, you can't park there. I soon got straight past Jack on the inside here, and I was like trying to get on Joe's wheel because I knew that we were going to be on that start-finish straight again. I didn't manage to get on his wheel though, but I did eventually close down the gap because Joe and number 37 went into pits, and you can see it does make a difference if you pit, because I managed to bridge back onto them now. And now this was our last lap. I think I knew that, the boys in front probably knew that as well, because we were just so far behind, and obviously the 80% rules in place. Spoiler alert, I did get pulled. So anyway, I've bridged back onto them, and now we are battling. Well, actually it's for 45th, because Joe's here as well, but Joe dispatches us pretty comfortably in a second once he gets out of this mud. Joe starts to pull away here, so we know that is absolutely game over and we're not going to get it back. You'll see in a second when I jump onto the next little clip that he pulls away, gets a gap on us there, and we couldn't close it down. So the battle was on, me and 37 for the big 46th place. Who's going to take it? He decides to ride. I'm riding as well this time. Take the inside line. Lovely little move. See, you don't have to elbow people to do a good move. And that is why I respect number 37. Because we had a good, clean battle. And I think I made a terrible mistake there, hitting the stake. You're trying to get any grip whatsoever. Trying to get on any grass, which meant 37 came back past me. But I thought, I'm not letting it go there. He decides to pit, and I was really surprised that he decided to pit here because we only had like half a lap till we were going to get pulled. Maybe he didn't know that. So anyway, I was like, I've got to put the hammer down, or as best I can. Joe pitted as well, so I could almost see that I was going to catch him, but just couldn't quite bridge over to him. You can see along here, I slipped out again. Absolute chopper, Georgie boy. Couldn't get any grip. But anyway, we're coming into the last few corners now. Number 37, I take my hat off to you. You played this very well. Anyway, he is right on my wheel right now. I know that. So anyway, I'm coming down this last bit and I was like, just keep the chain tight, move as fast as you can. And he makes a good move. Normally I'd cut this out because I don't like people beating me. No, I'm joking, I wouldn't really. But anyway, I decide to stick to the inside line here. He comes round the outside, absolute Max Verstappen's me. No elbows needed, gets the inside line. I think he's gone wide, so I decide to get off and run, thinking he might not get any traction. And he pips me. That was the battle for 46th. Better than watching Thomas Main. I hope you enjoyed the video. I got pulled, and I'll catch you in the next one.